I don't watch boxing anime or sports anime or just sports in general. But I decided to give Megalobox a try after hearing so many good things about it, and after catching up on all the episodes. Gearless Joe, aka Junkrat, gives me life. Joe is just a man who has been dealt a bad hand and feel like the life was being sucked out of him, suffocating, because he couldn't fulfill his life's goal to fight in the boxing ring. And where many would have given up and accepted their fate, Joe powered through because he would rather die than stay where he is right now. I can't tell if Joe is your average sports protagonist. The closest thing I came to watching a sports anime was watching Kaido, a sports show about I'm not weird. I don't watch these kind of shows, guys. It was just a one-time thing. But seeing Joe's journey and his fight to make the life he wanted inspired me. See, Joe, as far as we know, doesn't have a family. The closest thing we could call his family is his boxing coach, Nambu, who picks his fights. But Joe isn't a legal citizen and can only fight in the underground rings against other losers. But to make it worse, just to make ends meet so Nambu can save his own ass, he forces Joe to throw every match for money. Now, as you would imagine, this weighs heavy on him, and he knows that he could beat any of them in a fight if he was just given the chance. Things take a turn for the worse when he ran into the #1 fighter Yuri, and even though they didn't fight, just his presence alone made his heart jump and he can feel the skin tingling. When they finally met in the underground ring, Joe finally got a taste of the life he wanted and he couldn't give it up. And it was at that moment that I actually began to connect with the character. The moment when everyone is telling him that he can't make it in this world and whatever life has given you is what you have to work with, Joe's response was,
"Don't lose your way.
I would rather die than keep living like this. Boxing is my life and no one will keep me from it." See, Joe isn't some ninja with superpowers and a demon fox to help him, or some Soul Reaper mixed with Quincy's and Fullbringers and God knows what else. Joe is just Joe, a normal person who finally said he had enough. But how many of you have been there? How many of you have been so down on life that you just can't take it, believing that this is your destiny and you should just go along with it? How many of you have been there? But instead of rising above it, instead of taking control of your own life, you've merely given up or thought that this was just beyond your control. This is why he resonated with me so much, because his story felt so genuine. It felt like it's something anyone could learn from. I mean, how many characters do you see go through this arc, but merely stay in their own stupor until the plot decides to kick in, until the author decides it's time for the main character to get a break, and things just connect into place for them. Not to say that this is a bad thing, but think about shows like ReZero and this main character Subaru. He's a NEET, he's a loser, and he's down on his life. And what does he do to overcome this? Nothing. He gets stuck into a fantasy world where he can live a more interesting life. Now, this isn't to spit on Subaru's journey and the things he has to overcome in that show, or to say that things like this is bad writing, but it's just to show you how often these characters don't have to actually fight for a better life, or how they have some special latent power to help them get along. Joe's story is a story that I think any of us can look up to. Watching him go from nothing and claw his way into the big world is inspiring. And every fight where he steps into that ring, bare-chested versus men who can afford the best gear in the industry, to prove that he is the real deal and not just some poser who bought the best armor. I'm not crying, you're crying. This is one of the reasons why I love Joe so much. His grit, his unyielding fire to make this work. There are other things to Joe's character that I wanted to mention, but I'd have to do another video on it. Possibly in a video going over the relationship between Joe and his trainer Nambu. That would actually be a pretty interesting video. I think I have a few things to say about that. So I do other videos like this where I try to analyze certain characters or content and maybe find how relatable they are. Try to explain what's good about it or bad. So if you enjoyed it, you should definitely browse through my other content. Do you watch any sports anime? I mean, real ones, unlike if you have, how does Megalobox compare to the other popular ones like Hajime no Hippo? I believe that is how you pronounce it. If you haven't, does this pique your interest in Megalobox? Does this make you want to check it out? Because you should. It's a really good anime. Possibly my contender for best anime of 2018. So if you enjoyed the video, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back with more content like this later. Peace.